Right, let's connect with Mr. Surana now to take conversation forward. Crude prices have made a comeback. Petrol prices are at 90 rupees per liter. The company has just announced a buyback in order to create a shareholder value, and that was the first of the big re-rating moment for HPCL and other PSU stocks. Mr. Surana, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
I went with my family for a ride yesterday and I ended up paying 90 rupees a liter for petrol. As a consumer, I'm suddenly feeling the heat of high fuel prices.
Yeah, good morning to you, Nikunj. I can probably empathize with all the people. When the prices goes up, it is not only true for petrol or diesel, it is true for any commodity for that matter. And as a consumers, all of us will like that the prices should remain as low as possible. But at the same time, all these commodities are internationally determined commodities. And so if the prices of these commodities increases in the international market, the domestic market will follow. And so we probably do not have much of choices on moderating it apart from getting it aligned to the international prices as far as possible. Of course, there are taxation elements which are applicable in India, and that has got its own role. So what the commodity pricing is at around 30% of the total price which you pay, and rest is all central and state taxes.
I completely understand that. Now, you've always maintained in the past that the way fuel prices are calculated, that it's a very complicated formula based on import parity, rupee, and a lot of other factors. Typically, when you see a spike like what we've seen in last 1 month in international crude prices, what happens to your spreads, your marketing spreads, which is the mainstay of the company? Do they get compromised or they are maintained?
See, there is some formula which the OMCs follow to determine the market pricing. And that is based on the international prices of the products and the taxes and the other components. So as such, the marketing spread do not get substantially varied between just because the prices have changed in the market or something like that. Now, the complication is because we determine the domestic pump prices based on a rolling basis of a 15 days average. And therefore, if you just calculate probably day to day, you may find a variation between what it should be versus what it is. But if you see in a long-term basis, it does get aligned to a stable marketing margins. And it is not which somebody may feel that just because the prices have gone up, the oil marketing companies are making a huge money. That doesn't happen like that. There is a margin for the marketing companies to ensure that the product gets distributed across the length and breadth of the company. And the cost which we incur in distributing and selling these products across the countries. And you should also appreciate that the cost of distributing these products across the country is not the same, depending on the distance it has got from the producing location, that the difficulties of making it reach to the far-flung areas, to the hinterlands, etc. So there are some bases in which it is determined. Some of that, it has got a legacy the way when it was in the control pricing and when there was a homogeneity, so that it doesn't happen that in one area you pay huge difference, hugely different price compared to other places, apart from the local taxation which has got.
Couple of weeks ago, you announced a buyback at a massive premium to the price, and it is still at a massive premium to the current price, trading price. Yet your stock is not getting re-rated. Why is that?
In fact, yes, that's true that sometime back we announced a buyback, and that was probably we are the first PSU company to go from a market transaction basis rather than the tender route. And I have said at that time that we wish to create the value for the shareholders, And we thought that buyback is one of the mechanisms to do that apart from the other tools like dividends, bonus, etc. Now, after that, it has been taken very positively by the market that you have also said, and that is what many of the people have commented, that probably it was a different way of creating values for the shareholders of at least the PSU stocks. And after that, there was an uptick on HPCL share prices and the PSU share prices also. So I think that it was a move which has been taken by the market positive. And as we are going with the market transaction basis, there is a 6 months period during which we will be doing it. But the prices have already seen an upward trend to that extent for HPCL, and I'm happy about it. As I mentioned, probably we are not the day-to-day players in the market. So the market prices of the share will be determined by the market. But as far as we are concerned, we strongly believe that HPCL has got strong fundamentals. It has got a lot more intrinsic value in the share than what is reflected in the market. And we do believe that we should create values for our shareholders and reward the people who had remained invested with us. And therefore, we have announced the buyback. And it has taken very positive move after that. And I think it should continue to show a positive trend.
Sure. Now, with the world attempting to move away from fossil fuels, Mrs. Surana, what amount of your revenues do you actually see coming from, non-retailing of fuels like petrol and diesel? If you could give us a sense, with other revenue streams as well, whether it be LNG, lubes, etc. What really is the strategy going forward?
Unlike what the people believe, that as if the whole business of an oil marketing company is only petrol and diesel, let me tell you, it is not so. So there are other industrial products like lubricants, bitumen, ATF, naphtha, fuel oil, etc., specialty products, hexane, RPO, JBO, solvents, etc. So there is a basket. Of course, the major component is petrol and diesel in the total basket, and there is no denial of that fact. Now, looking at the whole horizon, the way it is happening, that India's demand is increasing at a substantial pace. India is going to be the third largest consumer of the energy in growth. And in that respect, there is still a time where the demand for petrol, diesel can get diminished, or it has peaked. It has not peaked as of now. At the most, in the time to come, a part of the growing demand can be taken by the alternative fuels like gas or renewables. And HPCL, as a company who is in the business of energy, in the business of mobility, will continue to evolve ourselves to provide all the alternative means which provides the source of energy to the consumers. HPCL has already taken steps to have our foothold in the alternative resources. For gas, we have already got around 20 geographical areas in which we have got authorization. We have got around 600 all petrol stations from which we are distributing CNG. We have recently announced that we will be setting up LNG distributing facility at around 11 pumps. We have got a wind power mill of 101 megawatts. We got the solar capacities also elsewhere. We are also setting up CBG plant, that is a compressed biogas plants. I don't know whether you are aware, we have got 2 mills which produce ethanol and from the sugarcane. And we are setting up 2G refinery to convert the agri waste into ethanol. Apart from that, we are setting up a LNG gasification terminal in Chara, 5 million ton. We are a part of 2 cross-country pipelines which carries natural gas across the length and breadth of the country. So we have got a plan to ensure that we have got a reasonable part of the alternative fuel and energy resources business as the energy transition happens, whenever it happens. Not to say that we don't see it is in the immediate future that it may change drastically, but we are conscious and we are on the path to ensure that any alternative business models which develop, HPCL is a part of it. HPCL has got a substantial say in it, and HPCL got a substantial market cap in that, market volume in that. And so is the case with the newer part of the business models which are arriving, whether it is the charging stations, whether it is the battery swap facilities, and we are ensuring that we are in it on all the way. Apart from that, our R&Ds are also working to develop better ways of reducing the carbon footprints of fossil fuels. Euro 6, I can say that it is as good as the natural gas, and that was a big leap which the country made. We are also working to reduce the energy efficiencies of our refineries, to improve the use of the molecule when we convert from crude to the products and value-added products. We are also working to improve the energy efficiency in our productions and the total carbon footprint from end to end. But I must add that any energy resources which ultimately will survive need to take care of the convenience of the people, the economics of the source, and end-to-end carbon footprint. And only that will survive, which has got lowest end-to-end carbon footprint. At the same time, it is economical and affordable for people.
Let's also talk about the overall restructuring, Mr. Surana, the merging with MRPL, and then eventually with ONGC. When do you see that process getting over? What stage are we at currently? How do you see that evolving?
As you would have read some time back, that there is a subsidiary of ONGC and MRPL by OMPL, which is a petrochemical company. And that is being integrated with MRPL. And MRPL HPCL merger, as and when it happens, will happen in the second stage. So first, the OMPL MRPL will get integrated. That is the plan. But ultimately, we are the direction which ONGC HPCL has, that MRPL will get integrated with HPCL in future, because we think that creates better value. That is what I have mentioned in the past also.
All right, Mr. Surana, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us this morning and sharing all the latest developments with us.